Hello and welcome everyone inside the Beckley Raleigh Convention Center in Beckley, West Virginia. The Rams travel to take on the West Virginia Tech Golden Bears here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Hello everybody, glad to have you with us as we're setting up for this big Atlantic Classic, one of the better showcases for high school, middle school, and now college basketball in the southern West Virginia area. Let's take a look at the Rams, though. These Bluefield College Rams losing last night on the road against Columbia. Pretty tough game for Bluefield after winning that original game back in November, 90-65. They dropped that game 96-80, and Bluefield really couldn't get anything going in the latter part of the first half, and then the entire second half was dominated by the Allen University Yellow Jackets. But Bluefield still looked good at points in that game thanks to great performances from Taekwon Reed as well as Jeremiah Jenkins. Reed hit 4 3-pointers in that game, all in the first half, mind you, and scored 14 points. And now the Rams come into this game right at 12-7. This is their final non-conference game of the year, now taking on a West Virginia Tech team that has also proven to be a pretty good team here in the southern West Virginia area, right at 14-9, coming out of the River States Conference. This team is headed by Bob Williams in his 16th season here in Beckley, West Virginia, or rather West Virginia Tech moving to Beckley for the first time this year, but Bob Williams has been at the helm of that. One of the better players on this team, the guard Brandon Shingles, the junior from Tallahassee, Florida. Player to watch out for as the Rams send out Taekwon Reed, Naquan Cousins. Donnell Gooch will be the guy to tip off for Bluefield. And Jorge Concepcion, one of the better shooters for the Rams, leading Bluefield with 14 points per game. And joined by Jeremiah Jenkins, the point guard, the freshman coming out of Morey High School in Norfolk, Virginia. Starting for West Virginia Tech, it will be Michael Scott, the big center forward from Syracuse, New York at 6'8", joined by Tamon Scruggs, as well as the Swede Andrea Johnson, and as well as Cole Schoolcraft and Thomas Collins. Bluefield wearing the red. Ball is in the air, tipped into the hands of Schoolcraft, going left to right as West Virginia Tech takes the ball. Errant pass finally snagged by Scruggs as this team just won against Indiana University Kokomo, now looking for a home win here in front of a big crowd. Michael Scott kind of stuttering with the ball on the left side, swings out on the left wing. Now back up top here is the guard from Winfield, West Virginia, Schoolcraft, with 8 on the shot clock, lays over the right hand and hacks on the play as he entered the paint. So Bluefield coming into this game have not lost to West Virginia Tech since the 2014 season. And that foul will go on Bluefield. First one called of the night on Naquan Cousins. So here's Cole Schoolcraft. Grew up about an hour and a half from here. Marks the first free throw and hits as West Virginia Tech takes the 1-0 lead. Grew up in Winfield, West Virginia. Averages only around 5.2 points per game. Shoots and scores, sinking both free throws. 2-0 Bears as the Rams will take the ball now right to left. Richard Morgan looking on from the bench, wearing the suit today, going a little bit more business casual rather than normal casual. As Jorge Concepcion skates towards the top of the key, crossover dribble, pressured in the zone by Schoolcraft. Down the right side, Taekwon Cousins at the elbow, hits the deck, goes up for 2, and fouled there. Will not be a shooting foul, rather. That's going to be on Tamon Scruggs. His first foul. 2-0 West Virginia Tech on top, 19:15 left to go. Inbounds pass on the right side. Jeremiah Jenkins needs help. Feeds Concepcion, pops from the right side, and hits the 12-foot baseline jumper. 2-2. Rams have finally tied this up with just about a minute elapsed here. Top of the key, Michael Scott, 6'8", powering in the lane. Euro step, swings out left corner. Nobody's there. It looked like that pass was intended for Scruggs, but instead it bounces into the Bluefield bench. Got to see here that the Rams are changing up that normal starting lineup that they had. Usually you saw Damon Childress get into the starting ways for Bluefield, but now Jorge Concepcion back in it after 3 straight starts from Childress. At the top of the key, Taekwon Reed swings out right side in the corner for Jorge Concepcion. Enters the perimeter, feeds Cousins on a loose pass. Now 10 to shoot, top of the key, Taekwon Reed pops for the triple, no good, and the rebound falls the way of Cole Schoolcraft. Left to right goes West Virginia Tech wearing the yellow jerseys as it looks like Taekwon Reed bumps into Thomas Collins there. So that's the first foul on Taekwon Reed, a team second, 18:28 remaining first half. Hard zip in towards the top of the key for Cole Schoolcraft, the guard, looking for someone to pass it to, has started in nearly every game for the Golden Bears. Great defense by Jorge Concepcion with 15 to shoot. Passes on the left side over for Collins, feeds to Scott on the left block, double team, goes up for the shot and blocked by Donnell Gooch. Off the bounce, here comes Naquan Cousins. Pass it up to Taekwon Reed, feed in the corner for Jorge Concepcion. Now with 18 minutes left in the first half, Bluefield will reset on a new offense. Well, Jeremiah Jenkins, a 40% three-point shooter, getting another start today, just his fourth start for Bluefield. Cousins almost lost the ball on a stumble near the top of the arc. Pass on the left side, Concepcion steps in the lane and scores with a right hand. Beautiful angle to the basket from Jorge Concepcion to give the Rams the lead, 4-2. Jorge Concepcion, he scored 11 points in the loss last night, now trying to add on a few more here against West Virginia Tech, as that pass is tipped by Naquan Cousins and stolen away by Gooch. Outlet on the other end, Cousins, and he finishes with a two-handed slam. Naquan Cousins is the best player to elevate for the rim for Bluefield, and he did it again. Well, the fans here in Beckley, West Virginia, definitely impressed with that one. Now it is 6-2 Rams, 17:08 as Collins pivots on the right elbow, lob on the right block. Scott puts it on the deck, elbows it out over to Janssen. Janssen feeds Scott on the left side. Now hands off over to Schoolcraft. 7 to shoot, lost the ball. Janssen picked it up, pops from 5 and sinks it on the fadeaway jumper. Well, the freshman from Stockholm, Sweden gets the basket. Meanwhile, Concepcion, stutter step, reverse layup, hacked, but fouled by Thomas Collins. Well, it looked like Jorge Concepcion was going to try to go on a reverse layup on the left side with a right hand, but couldn't get it done. But fortunately for him, he'll have a couple of shots at the free throw stripe. Thomas Collins, the junior from Jacksonville, Florida, the one to hack him there. Happy to have you here. Rams playing in the Big Atlantic Classic. A lot of teams playing right before this as Concepcion shoots and scores to give Bluefield the 7-4 lead. There was actually an elementary school game right before this that just lasted about 12 minutes. Each team only played about 8 guys and then had a 3-minute quarter with a running clock. So Bluefield, this game was actually supposed to start at 5:30, but because of all of the delays and all the games before this, got started around 7:05. Concepcion shoots, and after the ball rips around the 10 a few, it falls through the nylon. He hits both free throws, 8-4, Rams on top, 16:40 left to go. Now a new substitute in for this WVU Tech team. It's Brandon Shingles. Shingles on the right wing, steps in the lane, fadeaway jumper from the free throw line, nothing but net. Comes into the basket and comes into the game and already gets a basket for WVU Tech, the junior from Tallahassee, Florida. Jenkins angles on the left side, swings out Taekwon Reed, returns Jenkins left corner, and now Bluefield just trades the ball around the rim. Here's Concepcion, feeds Reed, now pump fake, goes in the lane, stumbles in the paint, immediately fouled. So they will call that a foul on the floor. Also onto the floor for the first time, it will be a new player in, Thomas Griggs. Or Thomas Griffin, Kevin Thomas Griffin. Inbounds on the right side, Jenkins zips Concepcion, pops from 5 and misses. Rebound Gooch on the putback, he uses the glass, and the Rams jump out to a 10-6 lead with the first 4 minutes here inside of Beckley. Now a bounce pass down low to Scott, spins towards the basket. Ugly hook shot goes over the basket. Donnell Gooch with great defense there. Gooch at 6'9", Scott at 6'8", and forcing him to heave that ball over the window. So the Rams up by 2 possessions, 10-6, and like we saw last night, they come out with a lot of potential and a lot of confidence, but can they keep it going? Pressured right now for Bluefield, it's Jeremiah Jenkins as he passes left wing Concepcion. Returns top of the key, Cousins. Overhead pass on the right side, Jenkins. Crossover dribble, angles a pass left side in the corner. Concepcion steps in the lane, hook shot, yes, as he scoops with a right hand and scores off the glass. 12-6 Rams on top now by 6 points. Also into the game for the first time, Dallas Jones, and the big man spinning in the lane right now is Brent Daniels, but he's fouled before he tried to kick out the pass. Donnell Gooch with his first foul as he was reaching in on Brent Daniels there. Now an inbounds pass chucked way up in the air for the new player in for West Virginia Tech. Meanwhile, a three missed, and now Bluefield coming away with a rebound. Here's Tyquan Reed trying to go coast to coast. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Naquan Cousins tried to pump that ball in, but came up with no avail. Feed on the right side. Here's Dominique King. Turns top of the key over to Daniels. Now the big man walked as he pivoted inside the perimeter, and now Bluefield forces another turnover. Looks like WVU Tech will operate in what seems to be platoons here as that nearly entire lineup goes out of the game. Schoolcraft, as well as Michael Scott, Scruggs, Janssen, and Thomas Collins all back into the game for WVU Tech. Meanwhile, for Bluefield College, they have not made a substitution as of yet. Jenkins bobbles the ball across the timeline with a chest pass on the right wing for Jorge Concepcion. Concepcion one-arms it over to Jenkins, looks at the rim, goes inside the perimeter, retreats back out with a pass to Jorge Concepcion. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Concepcion launches a three and misses from the top of the arc. Rebound for Scruggs as WVU Tech moves fast in transition. Three for the Swede, nothing but net on the far corner. So now 12-9, Rams on top by three as Jenkins bobbles the ball in the right elbow, feeds Scooch, mid-range no good. Another ball goes out of bounds as Naquan Cousins must have punched it out, or rather it will go off the hands of Thomas Collins. So now Bluefield will have an inbounds pass with 14-17 first half. Now the Rams wearing those red jerseys, looking to get another road win here as Jenkins launches the ball up in the air in the right wing for Donnell Gooch, who underhands it over to Naquan Cousins. Bluefield just popping the ball around the perimeter. Now Jenkins launches a three. Ball rattles around the rim and a miss. And a rebound for Thomas Collins. WVU Tech wearing those yellow jerseys, kind of like what you see in their Morgantown counterpart. Feed down low, Michael Scott pivots with a pass out left wing. Collins for three. Yes, since the game is tied now, 12-12. Rams were up by 6, and now 6 straight points for WVU Tech. 13:48 on the clock before we hit halftime here in this big Atlantic Classic. Jenkins pressured hard by Schoolcraft, retreats back out, and passes far wing Jorge Concepcion. Off a screen, Concepcion zips. Gooch for two, misses far left. Ball dribbles on the left side. Collins punched it out of bounds, trying to go in transition, and now Bluefield will have another chance here with a rebound, or rather an inbounds pass right in front of the away radio crews here. 13:31 at the fans packed in here for some high school games right after that. Fold-out chairs in this dome. A little bit bigger than the dome we see at Bluefield College. Off the ball whistle, and it's going to be an offensive foul on Bluefield. Gage Yes back into the game for the first time and immediately called for a foul. David Tripp in as well, guy that's averaging right around 13 points per game for Bluefield. And Richard Morgan, if you're here, you can hear him saying, "Come on, Gage." He just came in for 5 seconds and already notched up a foul. Here's Scruggs at the top of the key. David Tripp on the hard-nosed defense. Janssen shuffles towards the top and now passes right wing Scott. The corner Collins, 12 to shoot as Collins enters the paint. Underhand Scruggs, launches the three, rims out, no good. Rebound Jorge Concepcion right in front of the scorer's table. As Concepcion pops a pass over midcourt. Sean Robinson into the game for the first time as well. Young man coming out of Caldwell Community College, trying to show some tenacity here. Concepcion shoots for three in the far corner and misses. Good rebound from Tamon Scruggs as he just walks the ball across midcourt. 12:43 left to go, all tied up at 12-12. Collins feeds Johnson, launches a three, good. And the Swede has been money from beyond the arc. A 9-0 run for WVU Tech, 15-12. Here's Sean Robinson with a hip-high dribble, tries to break away, but now spins towards the top of the arc. No one to hand it off to as Robinson zips top of the key. Reed passes right wing Concepcion. Concepcion off the screen, goes in the lane, swings out Robinson. Left corner three. Misses. Rebound Concepcion on the offensive board. Bounces out left. Over to Reed is now Sean Robinson. Angles in the lane. Feeds Jesbeck. Launches a three. Good for the big man. Tied up again as Gage Jesbeck comes into the game, gets a foul, but makes up for it with the rare three-pointer from the big man. Normally you see him post up down low, but he had the open look and decided to let it go. Michael Scott lost the ball, but hacked on his way up for the layup. As Tyquan Reed will be booked for his second foul. That stops the clock at 11:49. And looks like we will have a media timeout. First time we've had that for Bluefield since the Bluefield State game. 15-15 as we take a break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. After the media timeout, Rams come back out onto the floor, tied 15-15 here in the Big Atlantic Classic with the WVU Tech Golden Bears. Bluefield out of the timeout will not substitute anyone except for Damon Childress as he comes in with for Taekwon Reed, who already booked 2 fouls. Leading the way for Bluefield out of the first couple of minutes, Naquan Cousins with 2 points, but Jorge Concepcion has already notched 8. Junior guard out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Now to be an inbounds pass from the right side. Scruggs just launches it way up in the air to be caught by Thomas Collins. Here's Cole Schoolcraft, the West Virginia native, as he backpedals towards the circle at the middle of the court. Now 10 to shoot. Schoolcraft has to get something going for the Golden Bears. Passes over to Collins, ball over his head. 5 to shoot into a double team. Underhand Schoolcraft arcs a 3, back iron miss. Looking for the rebound, loose ball. Finally corralled by Damon Childress. Now he's looking for help, lost the ball, and Childress reached in. Thomas Collins almost stole it, but then Damon Childress able to hack him, and now Bluefield with a turnover to give the ball right back to WVU Tech. Well, Childress out of that rebound didn't have any help, and Thomas Collins did not give up on that. WVU Tech leading in the points right now, 8 points for Jonsson. Swedish player already has 2 3-pointers. He's 3 of 3 from the field. Way up in the air, and Cole Schoolcraft has it near midcourt with 11:20 left to go in the first half. Bluefield taking on the Golden Bears for the first time since 2014, and the Rams beat them both times in that season. Going for the alley-oop, Collins couldn't hang on with the right hand as the ball goes out of bounds. Bluefield already knows how that goes. They've tried to hoop it up a couple of times at the Dome and have came up a bit short, but now they'll get the ball back. David Tripp will have the inbounds pass. Looks like WVU Tech, thanks to Bob Williams, will run in platoons, kind of like what we see out of Kentucky. Obviously not at the same caliber here, but giving his players the breather. Childress with a 3 from the right corner. He misses. Rebound clapped in by Collins. Skating across midcourt, spinning at the top of the arc, bounces on the right side for Scruggs. Bluefield operating in a zone defense. Lob down low to Michael Scott. Lost the ball. Up for 2. Misses. Good rebound. Wrestled away by David Tripp. Bluefield in transition. Tripp trying to go coast to coast and fouled on his way to the basket. Damon Scruggs tied up with the big man, and now David Tripp will go to the charity stripe. We'll have to see here what David Tripp does, because with the game tied at 15-15, you can already tell that it might come down to these free throws at the end of the game. And David Tripp, after really being one of the lights-out players at the charity stripe for Bluefield at the beginning of the year, it's kind of tailed off as the team won 4 games in a row and lost last night. And we saw him practicing at the Dome today. His first shot goes. Well, the practice pays off as Bluefield gets the lead back 16-15. Brand new platoon in for WVU Tech. One of those players, Brandon Shingles, already averaging 18.3 points per game, and he's a 40% three-point shooter. So the Bluefield College Rams will have to try to lock him down. Also joining him, Dallas Jones, as well as the big man Brent Daniels replacing Michael Scott. And a new player in will also be Kevin Thomas Griffin. He gets the rebound and tips it over to Brent Daniels off the missed free throw. So Bluefield up by 1, 10.5 minutes before halftime as WVU Tech takes the ball left to right. Another hand off top of the key over to Dallas Jones, matched up with Jorge Concepcion. Feed on the right side, and now a lob down low to Daniels. Looking for help, bounces in the paint, picked away by Gage Yesbeck. Here comes David's trip, trying to go coast to coast, and misses an ugly layup as he skids onto the hard court. Going the other way, here's Brandon Shingles, only playing in 9 games so far. Good dart down low to Brent Daniels on a dime from Kevin Thomas Griffin to give WVU Tech the 1-point lead. 17-16. Sean Robinson taking the ball across midcourt, angling right off the defense from Dallas Jones. Now passes top of the key, Jorge Concepcion. Crossover dribble, bounce in the left corner. Childress arcs a three, too hard, rebound Dallas Jones. Well, the threes really haven't been there as of yet for Damon Childress. He's got the green light. Meanwhile, a step back triple, good from Brandon Shingles and the far wing to make it a 20-16 lead for WVU Tech, their largest lead of the game. Pass up top to Sean Robinson. Bluefield can't do what they did against that Allen team and let the game get away from them. Missed 3 for David Tripp, wrestling for the rebound, Brandon Shingles. David Childress was draped all over him, but no call from the referees. 9:13 left to go. Shingles nails another triple in the same spot, his sweet spot, if you will. 23-16, largest lead for WVU Tech at 17. Now a timeout called by Bluefield as they take the ball right across midcourt. 9:02 left to go in the first half, and the Rams down by a couple of possessions here in Beckley. Back into the game, Rams down by 7, 23-16 against the WVU Tech Golden Bears here in the Big Atlantic Classic. Stan Nelms into the game for the first time for Bluefield as he passes inbounds over to Sean Robinson. Zipping around the left side, pivots back out to Nelms near the top of the key. Bluefield has been cold. WVU Tech hitting the threes courtesy of Andrea Janssen. A pass in the left wing. Robinson lets a three go and misses, bouncing towards the top of the key and finally snagged by Shingles. Going on the other end, alley-oop to Thomas Griffin, and WVU Tech is 0 for 2 on attempted alley-oops in this one as Thomas Griffin punched the ball out of bounds. Intent was there, and well, they just couldn't follow through on that. So the Rams get the ball back with 8:40 left to go in the first half. Leading the way for Bluefield, Jorge Concepcion now has 8 points for the Rams. And for WVU Tech, Janssen with 8 points, and then Thomas Collins has 6, while Brandon Shingles has already racked up 9 points. He's 2 of 2 from beyond the arc and 3 of 3 from the field. Well, now here comes Sean Robinson, jogging that ball across midcourt. Dallas Jones following him as now Stanthony Nelms underhands DeJuan Perry, who just entered the game for Bluefield. Now the Detroit native feeds over to Nelms, pops a long shot, misses, but Yesbeck fighting for the rebound on the right side. Zips top of the key, David Tripp returns Yesbeck in the right corner. Shuffles down the baseline, passes right wing, Tripp launches a three and misses. Looking for the rebound, Stan Nelms on his hands and knees trying to scrape that one away, but couldn't get it. Outlet on the other end, Thomas Griffin reverses and kisses the ball off the glass to give WVU Tech the 25-16 lead. 9-point deficit now as Bluefield is starting to reel a little bit with WVU Tech's momentum. Robinson, transition three, far right, rebound Nelms, puts the ball on the deck, looking for the putback and gets it as he punched that one right off the window. 25-18 is now WVU Tech moves in transition. Daniels with a moonshot, nothing but net from the top of the key, a three for Brent Daniels, the junior from Mount Hope, West Virginia. 7.5 minutes left as now WVU Tech is pouring it on, up by 10. Crossover dribble, Sean Robinson on the other end for Bluefield. Passes top of the arc, Nelms, and one arms it over to Robinson. Bounce pass to Jesbeck, returns Robinson, right wing, passes left side. Nelms launches a long two and sinks it. Anthony Nelms for the past 4 points for Bluefield, 28-20. Rams down by 8. As now Dallas Jones takes the ball right across midcourt. Here's a three from Shingles, finally misses from the near wing. A rebound for David Tripp. Bluefield trying to move this game at their own pace. Here's Robinson, backpedaling on the right wing, cross-court lob, Stan Nelms. Steps into a long two, misses this time. Rebound, DeJuan Perry, and the putback falls for the transfer from Carson Newman. 28-22, Rams have fought back, now down by just 6 after previously losing by 10. Here's Brandon Shingles, though, near the top of the arc, wanting a screen. He'll get it from Daniels. Shuffles on the left side, returns Daniels, pump fake, enters the lane, scoops, and on the left side passes Jones. Zims a three and misses on the left corner. Here come the Rams, though. 6:20 remaining in the first half. Stan Nelms looking for his point guard and finds him near midcourt. Well, Sean Robinson has not scored yet, and Bluefield could use their point guard to get in the scoring mix as Nelms' pass goes outside of the reach of Gage Jesbeck, and now we have a turnover as well as a media timeout. Or no, it will not be, as we will stay live here. Jeremiah Jenkins back into the game. Sean Robinson coming out. Donnell Gooch jogs over towards midcourt and will likely replace Gage Jesbeck, and he does. New platoon in for WVU Tech again. Thomas Collins, Schoolcraft, Janssen with 8 points, Scruggs, and Michael Scott, the big man, at 6'8" from Syracuse, New York, parked in the right post. Bounce up top for Scruggs. WVU Tech has all the momentum right now, really getting the open looks and finding a way to get them. What a move by Thomas Collins. Found the open lane and absolutely slammed it with one hand. And Richard Morgan is irate. 30-22 now the score. Rams trail by 8 points. Looking to fall asleep on defense. Naquan Cousins steps into a reverse layup and fouled as he was trying to kick it out. So that will be on Michael Scott. And now we will have another media timeout. That's the 5th foul on WVU Tech. Taking a break here, 30-22, Golden Bears on top of the Rams here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Going back out onto the floor with 5:37 remaining first half. Rams trail by 8. Naquan Cousins will shoot 2 free throws after being fouled by Michael Scott. His first shot from the stripe rattles around the 10 and pops out on the left side. Well, for Bluefield, they have let WVU Tech really play to their speed and looked a little lazy on that last defensive possession as they let Thomas Collins just jump into the lane and absolutely posterize the Rams. Second shot for Cousins falls, nothing but net, and now it is 30-23. Whistle blows. Jorge Concepcion re-enters the game for Naquan Cousins. So the Rams have DeJuan Perry, Jorge Concepcion, Jeremiah Jenkins, Donnell Gooch, and Stan Nelms out onto the floor. Taking the ball up, it's Cole Schoolcraft, platoon number 1 for WVU Tech. Well, Bob Williams, in his 16th season here at WVU Tech, now has a pretty deep roster. This team at 14-9, 8-4 in the River States Conference. Bounce down low to Scott, stumbles in the lane and slams with one hand. Donnell Gooch let him go up and finish. So 32-23, 5:10 remaining in the first half. Rams reeling, have to try to get back into this one, find those open looks, possibly get a three ball to silence this WVU momentum swing. Perry lobs down low, Donnell Gooch rejected at the rim by Thomas Collins. Going the other way, here come the Golden Bears. Cole Schoolcraft near the top of the arc, hard pass in the corner, open three for Collins. Air ball, rebound still loose under the basket. Donnell Gooch hacked by Janssen after he picked the ball up, and that's a good job right there as it is WVU Tech's 6th foul. That halts the clock at 4:44. Rams trying not to lose 2 games in a row in a very difficult swing of games here in their season. Have a game tomorrow against St. Andrews, then on Saturday they host Reinhardt. Then right after that have to hit the road against Milligan in a game that was rescheduled to that Monday right after the Super Bowl. Back in the hard court now, though, 32-23, 4.5 minutes to go. Jenkins decides to take a tray as he misses as the ball rims out into the hands of Thomas Collins. Collins has all the confidence in the world, goes on the right side, tied up on his way to the basket, and it will be no foul call. It will be, or rather, it is a foul. DeJuan Perry. So that is his personal, and it will be a 1-and-1. As that is the team's 7th foul. So Thomas Collins coming into this game, really one of the better players for WVU Tech, getting the start in this game. The junior from Jacksonville, Florida, averages 14 points per game, a 57% field goal shooter. Not really the three-point shooter, but definitely an athlete. It's one of 5 players averaging in double figures for the Golden Bears. Couple of bounces, first of a 1-and-1. Bounces around and finally tickles the twine to make it 33-23, ties the largest lead of the game at 10. Well, it will be a bounce into Collins. Looking at this game up by 11. Bluefield with all the rebounders down, except for what seems to be Brandon Shingles. Won't need him, though, as the shot falls. 34-23, Rams trail by 11, struggling to get the ball across midcourt now. Tripp picks up his dribble and finally feeds across the timeline to DeJuan Perry. No look past Concepcion, feeds Jenkins. Lob down low, tipped out of bounds by Thomas Collins, and that pressure really starting to amp up for WVU Tech. Well, this team really beating Bluefield on both sides of the ball. The Rams just need to wake up after having a pretty good start. They were up 12-6, but since then, WVU Tech went on a 9-0 run and has given up the lead. Bounce pass into Concepcion, kicked away by Thomas Collins again, so Bluefield will get another chance on the far corner. Right in front of that WVU Tech bench, so we see more high school fans start to come into this Beckley-Raleigh Convention Center. Concepcion storms towards the basket, floater, no good, and Nelms can't stick the putback. On the other end, here comes Brandon Shingles jogging the left wing, feeds top of the key. Scott arcs a triple, yes. 37-23, 14-point deficit now. Bluefield just wondering what is happening. Concepcion takes the ball across the timeline and calls a timeout. And we'll take a break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. 14-point lead for the Golden Bears here in the Big Atlantic Classic. Rams back out on the floor now, getting beat by WVU Tech by 14, 37-23. Looking for someone to help off the inbounds, and DeJuan Perry bounces in the backcourt for Tyquan Reed into the game for the first time since he notched 2 fouls early on in the first half. 3:45 remaining here in this first period as a pass down low is halted by a foul. That pass intended for Stan Nelms, and that will be a foul called on Schoolcraft. His team's 7th now. Schoolcraft now has 2 fouls. So Jeremiah Jenkins onto the floor, and he will shoot 2. Or shoot a 1-and-1 rather. His first shot, now he'll shoot 2 as that one tickles the twine again, 37-24. Well, Jenkins a decent free throw shooter at 88%, the best on the team. He shoulder shrugs, the freshman eyes the rim. Second shot, nothing but net again. So Bluefield gets both of the 1-and-1 to make it 37-25. Now looking for a midcourt press. Rams in a man-to-man now as DeJuan Perry is matched up with the point guard Cole Schoolcraft. Cole Schoolcraft veers right, feeds Janssen into the right corner. Now in a trap, gets out of it, feeds top of the key. Brandon Shingles going with a new platoon here. 13 to shoot, shuffles back, feeds down low to Scott, steps into a layup, but before that hacked, and no foul called rather. Nelms punched the ball out of bounds. In the process, the ball went off of his foot, and now with 8 seconds left in the shot clock, WVU Tech will have an inbounds pass on the right side of the basket. Here's Shingles looking for a bounce pass and does into Michael Scott. Now 5 to shoot. Schoolcraft near the midcourt line, goes inside the perimeter, pivots around, buzzer beater, good off the glass, right at the end of the shot clock. Well, he had nowhere to go, but that's just where Bluefield's night is going. A 14-point deficit. WVU Tech 39-25. 3 minutes before halftime. Tripp feeds Perry. Hard head fake into the lane he goes. Looking for a step back. Instead, passes to Tripp, who misses a 3 on the right wing. Here comes WVU Tech. Rather, it's stolen by David Tripp. Ball loose under the Bluefield basket. And finally crowned by Michael Scott. Feeds on an outlet. Cole Schoolcraft lost the ball and fouled as he was going for a layup. That will be on Jeremiah Jenkins. That'll be Jenkins' first personal. And now he will shoot 2. Cole Schoolcraft already went to the free throw line earlier in this game, and he's 2 for 2. Well, you see what happened with the Rams. It's almost a mirror image of what we saw last night. The Rams jumped out on top by 9 as Schoolcraft hits the first free throw to make it 40-25. And then Allen fought back and won that game by 16 points, led by as much as 20. Bounce into Cole Schoolcraft again, trying to make this a 16-point game. Loops the second shot and goes right through the nylon. 41-25, 16-point lead. Buzzer sounds a couple of times. Taekwon Reed and DeJuan Perry relieved of their duties for Cousins and Concepcion. Rams have to get something going fast with 2:42 remaining in the first half. Trying to wake up before they go into the locker room at halftime. Now just jogging the ball, trying to get it across midcourt. A long Hail Mary across the timeline for Stan Nelms. Bumping into Janssen. Now ball loose on the floor, picked up by Shingles. Shingles starts to veer into the right wing and drops back to get this offense started. Passes right side, Scott angles a 3 and misses from the right corner. Rebound for Janssen, though, and WVU Tech starts out a brand new possession. Now the Swede walked in the right corner, pivoting, and he is not excited about that call, but you can see it from here. It was the right idea from the men in stripes. 2:17 left to go, first half. Score is 41-25. Rams in danger of losing 2 games in a row, but they're going to have an entire second half to get this one right. 2:15 left as Jenkins zips it over midcourt to Naquan Cousins. Bluefield stumbling on the floor. Here's Nelms in the right corner, and he drills it. Did he have a foot on the line? Yes. It is a 2:41-27. So Stan Nelms now getting in the scoring way of things after being relatively quiet in the last couple of games. So far tonight for Bluefield, the big man from Atlanta, Georgia, has been able to rack up 6 points. Here at the top of the key, Scott chest pass right side, Janssen. 10 to shoot as the Swede goes towards the top of the arc. Underhand Shingles, left wing. Pass in the corner for Schoolcraft. Lob down to Daniels. Top of the key. Here's Shingles for 3. Miss and a rebound for Cousins. Great possession for Bluefield defensively. 1.5 left to go as Jenkins shuffles into the right wing. Good lob in the right block for Tripp as he zips top of the key. Stanley Nelms. Bluefield will take a little bit of a breather here, working the ball around the arc. Jenkins looping his hand around as the Rams now set up in a new offense. 12 to shoot. Here's Jorge Concepcion. Bounce pass out of a double team. Jenkins, Euro step under the lane. Underhand Cousins, who kisses the ball off the glass. Great Bluefield possession there, and maybe that was the best minute of basketball played by the Rams in this game. They used the entire shot clock defensively and managed to do the same thing offensively. Flat minute remaining in the first half, 41-29. Rams trail now by 12 points. Pass up top to Janssen. Guy's already hit 3 3-pointers for WVU Tech. One arm pass to Collins, towing down the baseline. Underhand, Scott hits the basket, but it won't count as Stan Nelms draws the charge. He did that with 5 seconds left on the shot clock and 45.6 seconds left on the game clock. That's his second personal and a team 8th. He's now into the game. Looks like Brent Daniels will check in, as well as King for WVU Tech, taking off both Janssen as well as Michael Scott. Sean Robinson into the game again for Bluefield. Gage Yesbeck re-enters as well as a presence down low as Stan Nelms gets a breather. Robinson stumbling across midcourt, passes left wing Jorge Concepcion. Feed on the left elbow to Yesbeck, underhands his guard. Now a pass on the right side, Concepcion. Rather, Robinson misses the shot, trip of the rebound. Put back, rattles around the 10 and goes. Bluefield with a bit of a rally here, cuts the lead down to 10 points, 41-31, 20 seconds remaining. And now Thomas Collins is gallivanting right back towards the timeline with the shot clock off. 15 seconds remaining in the half. Bluefield looking for another big defensive stop. David Tripp on the defense as the three is launched and missed. Rebound, Naquan Cousins. Outlet, Sean Robinson in the right wing. 2 seconds. Feed to Jorge Concepcion. Miss. Put back can't stick from David Tripp. And that is it for the first half. 41-31. Rams trail by 10 here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Bluefield trying to come back when we come back here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Down by 10. Rams trail by 10 at halftime, 41-31 to the West Virginia Tech Golden Bears here inside maybe one of the bigger basketball stages in southern West Virginia, the Big Atlantic Classic, in front of a crowd of about 3,000 here. But very good place for the Rams to try to come back. They're allowing WVU Tech to shoot 53% from the field, 43% from beyond the arc, while the Rams are just 1 of 15 from beyond the arc in this game. That is staggering for a team that has been able to hit triples all year long. For the Rams, leading the way for Bluefield, Jorge Concepcion has 8 points, while Stanton Elms has 6 points coming off of the bench. The Rams have to try to hold down Andreas Janssen, who has 8 points, as well as Brandon Shingles, who has also notched 8 points for the Golden Bears. Rams getting beat on the rebounds, or rather winning in the rebounding game, though, with 20 of their own and then 18 for the Golden Bears, but still allowing West Virginia Tech to shoot so well and then really struggling to shoot from beyond the perimeter. 1 of 15, likely not to happen in the second half, but that perimeter defense has been so staunch for West Virginia Tech as they lead by 10. Bluefield coming back out onto the floor now to try to warm up. 4 minutes before the second half starts here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. We are just about ready to go here in the second half in the Beckley-Raleigh Convention Center. Rams down by 10, 41-31 to the West Virginia Tech Golden Bears. Bailey Engel here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Happy to have you here as the Rams are trying to avoid 2 losses in a row and their first loss in a long time to the Golden Bears. Notably for the Rams, like we touched on at halftime, only shooting 6%. 6% from beyond the arc, 1 of 15 in threes in this game so far. Definitely not a characteristic of Bluefield. If you're just wondering who hit that three-pointer, Gage Jesbeck was the only player to hit a three-pointer for Bluefield. Gage Jesbeck hasn't hit a three-pointer yet in 2018, but now hits one against the Golden Bears. Now the Golden Bears coming back out onto the floor. Andreas Janssen already has a couple of triples, as well as his teammate on the bench now, Brandon Shingles. Cole Schoolcraft in this platoon for WVU Tech. Really, this is the starting lineup, and then mixing in a little bit there at the end of the second half. But Schoolcraft, Scruggs, as well as Thomas Collins, Michael Scott, and Andreas Janssen, all of the primary players for this WVU Tech first platoon. Bluefield sends Reed, Jeremiah Jenkins, as well as Naquan Cousins, Gooch, and Jorge Concepcion out onto the floor. Both teams with their starting lineups here in the start of the second half. Underhand top of the key, Concepcion feeds right corner. Taekwon Reed steps into a triple. Front rim miss. Offensive board, though, for Concepcion as he bounces it out to Jeremiah Jenkins. Euro step in the lane and picked away by Janssen. Scruggs on the other end. Coast to coast layup miss. Jumping to clap the board, Donnell Gooch. As he passes towards midcourt, Naquan Cousins, Euro step, scooping with a right hand, and drew a charge. Thomas Collins went to the floor, as did Cole Schoolcraft. But for Naquan Cousins, that'll be his second personal foul, and now the first foul of the entire second half here with 19:30 left to go. Well, the Rams really need to lock down on some of these WVU Tech Golden Bears. They have been able to really run anything offensively that they want to, and the Rams at times have looked lazy and let that paint really just wide open for guys like Thomas Collins as well as Michael Scott. Into the left side, here's Janssen. Tip pass down low. Michael Scott puts on the deck out of a double team. Ball at his knees, kicked out. Scruggs picked up the loose ball on the left side. Now 10 to shoot, zips it top of the key. Schoolcraft into the lane, scoops with the right hand, and fouled on his way there as he missed the layup. So that'll be booked on. That'll be on Taekwon Reed. Or rather, that's on Donnell Gooch, his second personal. And a team second with 19:06. So Bluefield already notching 2 fouls with less than a minute elapsed in the second half. Here's Cole Schoolcraft shooting 1 of 2. As the ball pinballs around the rim, it finally gets a kiss off the glass to fall through. So now it is 42-31. WVU Tech getting the first points of the second half. Well, Schoolcraft already perfect at the line, and he won't keep it that way as he bounces that one off the back arc. 42-31, 19 minutes left before we can call this quits here. Jenkins underhands Concepcion to the other end. Steps back with a crossover dribble, feeds Jenkins left wing, returns Concepcion. Pump fake down the left baseline, feeds Cousins, launches a 3, misses back iron, bouncing into the hands of Thomas Collins. Going coast to coast, Collins steps towards the basket, misses the left-handed layup, and it's picked up by Jorge Concepcion. Ugly basketball being played here in the first couple of minutes of the second half. Jenkins lets a 3 go and rattles it through from the left wing. First 3 of the game for Jeremiah Jenkins, and the first 3 for Bluefield from someone not named Gage Jesbeck. Just their second triple of the game, and now they've cut it down to an 8-point game. 42-34. Now Cole Schoolcraft passing the ball right in front of his coach, Bob Williams. As Janssen gives it right back up to Schoolcraft. Bounce on the right corner, Janssen lets it down low over to Scruggs, feeds Collins, who's fouled on a layup by what looks to be Taekwon Reed. And that'll be the man from North Carolina's second foul, or third rather. With 18:07 left to go in the game, 42-34. Collins returning to the line again. Now for Thomas Collins, he's already 2 of 2 from the charity stripe today. Takes a long look at the rim and lets it go. Ball rattles around and misses. So if Bluefield can start to capitalize on these rare misses from WVU Tech, it'll be a little bit easier to come back here. Down by 8, 42-34, in front of a growing crowd here in Beckley, West Virginia. Here's Collins. Shoots his second. This time it goes right through the net. 43-34, 9-point deficit now. As Naquan Cousins will inbounds for Bluefield. Coming into the game for Donnell Gooch, David Tripp. Gooch already has 2 fouls. Long lifted pass to Naquan Cousins, trying to get the ball across the timeline, and finally does on the near side here with Jeremiah Jenkins. Bluefield only has 2 3-pointers in this game, and you got to think that a guy like Jorge Concepcion wants to change that. Now he has it in the far corner. Pump fake, returns top of the key, Taekwon Reed. Down the lane, looks for Jenkins, pops from the elbow, swish. Jeremiah Jenkins with 5 straight points for the Rams, makes it a 7-point game, 43-36. Meanwhile, Janssen lets a mid-range go as the ball goes right through the net. 45-36, a 9-point lead for WVU Tech with 17:28 remaining in the second half. Taekwon Reed storming in the lane and missing the layup. Tried to split through a double team and it didn't work. Cole Schoolcraft bumping his way down and spins and misses the ball as David Tripp comes up with a steal. In transition, Jenkins with the long 2 and he hits it from the right elbow. Bluefield moving fast as Jeremiah Jenkins has now scored 8 in a row for the Rams. 45-38, a 7-point lead for this WVU Tech team. They've led by as much as 11 in this half. Hard dish down low to Scruggs. He went to the ground, picked up by Michael Scott, powering towards the rim, and scores with a foul. That's a tough one right there for Bluefield to defend against Michael Scott at 6'8". Naquan Cousins with his 3rd foul, hacking Michael Scott. Bluefield already has 4 fouls in the second half as opposed to none for WVU Tech. And we're just 3 minutes and 9 seconds into the second half. Michael Scott, the Syracuse native, makes his free throw to complete the old-fashioned 3-point play. Now it is 48-38, a 10-point deficit again. Naquan Cousins obviously taken off with those 3 fouls. Gage Yesbeck back into the game. Well, Jeremiah Jenkins shuffling out of this midcourt press from WVU Tech. Finally gets it across the timeline with the help of David Tripp. 16:40 left to go in this game as Jeremiah Jenkins has to keep it going for the Rams. Off the screen, veers right, zips top of the key, David Tripp looking for someone to pass it to, and instead he'll just hand it off back to Jenkins. Now 10 to shoot. Jenkins lets a 3 go and hits it. Jeremiah Jenkins again. Cut it to a 7-point game, and Jeremiah Jenkins has gotten people to believe in Bluefield once again. 48-41. 16:15 left to go. Here's Cole Schoolcraft shuffling back towards the midcourt line. Starts to shuffle on the left side. Hard bounce past Janssen, left corner. Goes down the baseline, swings it back out to Collins, and he's fouled in the paint. So have to see who that foul is charged on. That's going to be on Jeremiah Jenkins, his 2nd and a team 5th. To make that 5 fouls for Bluefield and a flat 0 for WVU Tech. Launched in the air on the inbound. Scott dishes over to Scruggs, who powers it off the glass to make it 50-41. Off of the right block, WVU Tech once again leads by 9. Well, Jeremiah Jenkins scoring the last 11 points for the Rams as he cuts down the left side, passes towards the free throw line. Yesbeck feed strip on the left block, who is rejected by Michael Scott. David Tripp not getting anything going in the second half. Rams down by 9, 50-41. And you see that platoon get off of the bench for the Golden Bears and start to park out near that scorer's table. 15.5 minutes remaining in this game with 15 to shoot. Schoolcraft off the screen, veers right down the baseline. Power from Jeremiah Jenkins as he flops to the ground. He draws a charge. So Cole Schoolcraft will be the first foul of the second half for WVU Tech, his 2nd personal. And Jeremiah Jenkins has really lifted Bluefield back into this game. New squad in for WVU Tech. Ellis Jones, Thomas Griffin, as well as really the big man to watch out for, Brandon Shingles. Joined by Brent Daniels, as well as King for the Golden Bears. Taekwon Reed gives it up top to Jeremiah Jenkins off the screen, foot on the line, lets a 3 go, or rather it's a 2, and he hits it again. He's on fire. 50-43, a 7-point deficit now. Top of the key, Daniels feeds over to King in the left side. King passes up top, stolen away by Taekwon Reed. Reed going one-on-one to the basket, layup falls, it clunks off of the rim. 50-45, Rams have cut it down to a 5-point game. After being down by 11, timeout called by Bob Williams. Bluefield back in it. 50-45, 14-48 left to go in this game. Now we got ourselves a ball game, 50-45, 14:48 left to go in this one. Inbounds pass for WVU Tech. Jeremiah Jenkins has taken over the game now with 14 points. He scored 11 points in a row for the Rams. Top of the key, here's Brandon Shingles near the right wing. Zips down low over to Thomas Griffin. Loose ball corralled by Taekwon Reed, but his back foot was on the baseline, so it will stay with WVU Tech. It'll be an inbounds pass for the Golden Bears as Richard Morgan chants on in his 9th year at the helm of Bluefield College basketball. Off the inbounds, here's Daniels. Bounces on the left side over for King. Feed in the paint for Thomas Griffin. His hook shot bounces around a few times and tickles the twine. So 52-45, lead back up to 7. Not if Taekwon Reed and Jeremiah Jenkins have anything to say about it, though. Jenkins in the right wing looking for someone to pass it to. Veers left off the screen. Now the top of the key, swings out left corner. Concepcion shoots for 3 and scores. Third 3 of the game for the Rams now. 52-48, a 4-point deficit. And to the right side, Dallas Jones underhands WVU Tech. Rams need a big defensive stop as they have cut down to a 4-point game. At the top of the key, Brandon Shingles. He already hit a couple of threes for the Golden Bears in the first half. He's been silent so far in the second. 9 to shoot. Shingles hoping for help. Starts to go left near the top of the key. Launches a moonshot and misses as the ball bounces off the front rim. Rebound Concepcion. Feeds right side. Reed back to Concepcion, and the layup falls with a right hand. Back to a 2-point game, 52-50. Bluefield putting it on now as they cut this to a 1-possession contest. Haven't been able to say that since early on in the first half. Dish down low to Thomas Griffin. Zips right wing Jones. Feed on the left side. Here's King for 3. Rattles through. $55-50. Not sure what the PA announcer is trying to go there. It sounded like he had a M&M in his mouth. So now 13 minutes left to go in the game. Now Bluefield down by 2 possessions once again. They cut it down to 52-50. Here's Reed. His dish tipped in the air and finally caught by Stan Nelp. 6 to shoot. Feed top of the key, Taekwon Reed. Now 4 seconds on the shot clock. Reed feeds Concepcion, launches a 3, misses after the ball hits the rim. Rebound for WVU Tech, and here comes Dallas Jones, the point guard. Hard fastball down low. Not a good shot from the big man Brent Daniels as the ball rolled off of the rim. Jorge Concepcion taking the ball across midcourt. 12:28 left to go on the game clock, and it's 55-50. Taekwon Reed. Pass to Yespek. His pass, or rather his layup, not good. Feed back into Jorge Concepcion, hacked, and now the junior from Chesapeake, Virginia will have a couple of shots. So finally, Gage Yespek wanted a foul, didn't get it. And now it'll be a couple of chances for Jorge Concepcion. That's just the second foul for WVU Tech in the second half. First shot for Concepcion, too short. Buzzer sounds, platoon number 1 right back in for WVU Tech. Brandon Shingles looking if he will be replaced, and it looks like he will stay on. So Shingles stays on, and Cole Schoolcraft will keep his spot on the bench. So Jorge Concepcion trying to cut this down to a 4-point game. 12:17 left to go. Couple of bounces for Concepcion, lets it go, and the ball swirls around the cup and it falls. 55-51 after he hits 1 of 2 free throws. 12-12 left to go in the game as looks like Brandon Shingles will be the primary point guard for WVU Tech. Into the right wing he goes, underhands over to Thomas Collins. Sips in the left side for Janssen. His 3, missed. Collins wrestled for the rebound. On the putback, can't stick it. Loose ball again, finally picked up by Jeremiah Jenkins. Bumping his way with the freshman as now he gets the ball across the timeline. Jorge Concepcion starts to step back out, and Bluefield can slow it down. Richard Morgan all fired up now as Concepcion veers towards the top of the arc. His 3, back iron miss, still corralled on a rebound by Taekwon Reed. So Reed, the shooting guard, now with a chance with a crossover dribble. Shoots for 3, misses again from the left wing. And a rebound just snared that time by Thomas Collins. 11.5 minutes left to go. Janssen in the corner. Good pass down low for Scruggs. Spins towards the basket and scores with a right hand. 57-51, a 6-point game now. As Bluefield can't let this happen again. They were up by 6 points in the first half, and then WVU Tech stormed back for the entire rest of that first half and led by as much as 11 here in the second. Rams have cut it down to a 2-point game at times, but now trail by 6 points. Meanwhile, Jeremiah Jenkins make that 16 points for him as he floats from the right baseline. 57-53, 4-point game once again. Jenkins has to get back on defense, though, as Shingles bounces in the left corner for Collins. He pops a long pass into the right corner. Janssen bounces down low. Back out to Shingles, though. Arcs a three, swirls around, and goes through. 60-53. Rams just can't catch a break on defense in the past couple of minutes. 10.5 minutes left to go. Trailing by 7. A little bit of a size mismatch here as Jenkins is matched up with Brandon Shingles. Taekwon Reed veers towards the top, goes down the lane, spins it back out to Gooch, returns top of the key. Jorge Concepcion, hard pass Reed, far corner three, back iron miss, and now a rebound wrestled in by Michael Scott. Going across midcourt, Brandon Shingles shuffling across the timeline. Collins back up top to Michael Scott. The big man lets it go and misses the tray. Looking for the rebound, Jeremiah Jenkins. He's definitely been the player of the second half for Bluefield. Jenkins going coast to coast, pops a left elbow two, misses. Rebound, Michael Scott. Maybe not the best time right there for the transition jumper for Jeremiah Jenkins. It seems he's kind of cooled off with 9:44 left to go in the game. And WVU Tech trying to slow it down, maybe looking for that open shot from Andreas Janssen as he hit 8 points in a row in the first half. And to the right wing goes the freshman from Sweden. Pumps a pass down low to Scruggs. Good hard dribble, cooks a shot with the left hand and swishes. 62-53. Timeout called by WVU Tech. It's a 9-point game as we take a break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. 62-53. Jenkins and Concepcion leading the Rams in this one, 16 and 14 points apiece for both of the guards. But now they get a breather, at least Jeremiah Jenkins does, as Sean Robinson comes back into the game. 62-53 as the Rams go left to right now here in the second half. Robinson bounces down low to Jorge Concepcion. He's hit a three here in the second half. Another bounce pass to Robinson. Hard dart down low to Taekwon Reed. He's annihilated on a block by Michael Scott. And now we'll already have a media timeout. Bluefield not really used to that, as we've had so many media timeouts, or rather, so few media timeouts for the rest of the season. That stops the clock at 9:07, 62-53 left to go here in the collegiate edition of the Big Atlantic Classic. Out of the media timeout, Rams trail 62-53 here in Beckley, West Virginia with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Jenkins just lets the ball go across midcourt, leading all scorers around, and that's Sean Robinson, as Jenkins leads all scorers with 16 points. Here's Concepcion, fails to hit a shot, follows it though, and gets the stick back on the rebound. So now 62-55, Rams trail by 7. WVU Tech shot by 52% in the first half, but now the Rams have started to that in the second half. Collins watches a pass on the right side. Michael Scott, and tipped out of bounds off the hands of Stan Nelms, who has 6 points. 8:39 left to go, second half. Rams have Sean Robinson out on the floor as the team's primary point guard after Jeremiah Jenkins got the start. Inbounds pass, just pinballed around. Here's Janssen into the right wing. Underhands over to Shingles, feeds Scruggs. Lets a three go, misses as the ball just clocked around the 10. Rebound David Tripp going right across midcourt. Matched up with Scruggs though, cross-court lob, Taekwon Reed right in front of our table. Reed storms in the lane, feeds Tripp, left wing three, good! Young man from Connecticut makes it a little bit more interesting. 62-58, lead is now cut down to 4 with 8:10 left to go. Michael Scott misses a three. Back iron, got his own rebound though. Feed in the left baseline. Collins lobs right wing. Shingles lets it go for 3 and misses. And another rebound for Scruggs. Offensive boards starting to pile up. Ball punched out of bounds. It will stay with WVU Tech. 7:57 left to go in the second half. And now Bluefield will try to have another defensive stop here. Lob in the left block on the baseline. Here's Michael Scott. His hook shot bounces off the glass. Got his own rebound and hacked on his way up on the putback. So David Tripp looked like he got a piece of the big man. That's his first personal and a team 6th. So Michael Scott will shoot 2. He's been to the line not that many times tonight for this WVU team. WVU Tech team, I should say. He is 1 of 1. Trying to complete the and 1 the last time, and this time he hits his second free throw as well to make it 63-58, lead back to 5. So Scott coming out of Syracuse, New York, one of the seniors on a relatively young team for WVU Tech, coming into this game at 14-9. Steps back for the second free throw, and the ball bounces in. So now he hits both to make it 64-58. Buzzer sounds, and now substitutes coming in for the Rams. Gage Yesbeck replaces Stan Nelms. And that will be it. So Sean Robinson taking the ball right across midcourt. Tripp have to set up in the low post. Here's Robinson at the top of the arc. Underhands Concepcion. Back up top on the pass in the left wing. Reed and Concepcion looking for that open look. Around the horn they go. Tripp in the left corner looking for someone to pass it to. Finds Reed on the left wing. Now a pass to Sean Robinson. Bounce pass in the right corner. Concepcion. 7 to shoot. Trying to get past Janssen, and he's fouled for the team's 3rd foul. Janssen stepped in on Jorge Concepcion, and now Bluefield will have an inbounds pass with just 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Restart that to 20, though, out of the foul as the pass is lifted back to Sean Robinson. He's blocked, trying to save the ball in bounds. Michael Scott as David Tripp got it back. So kind of a crazy turn of events there. Pass in bounds, Gage Yesbeck underhands it right back to a small point guard. Michael Scott absolutely packed the little guy. And then Scott trying to keep the ball in bounds, zipped it back in to Gage Yesbeck, underhands it to David Tripp, who's fouled on the shot. So after all of that, Bluefield will have 2 shots from David Tripp, down 64-58 with 7:21 left to go here in Beckley. So Tripp bends the knees, shoots, and the ball just rolls out on the left side. Buzzer sounds, Jeremiah Jenkins back into the game. He will relieve Taekwon Reed. So a couple of small point guards in for Bluefield. Sean Robinson as well as Jeremiah Jenkins, both standing around 5'6". Here's David Tripp, a couple of hard bounces. Eyeing the rim, trying to hit the second shot. And he does. 64-59 with just 7:20 remaining in this game. Scruggs lifts it towards the timeline over for Shingles, who has a cross-court lob to Cole Schoolcraft, re-entering the game. Here's Shingles, left corner 3. Misses left rim. Rebound, Gage Yesbeck. Trying to outlet on the other end, but instead passes in the backcourt to Jorge Concepcion. Coast to coast goes Concepcion. Misses the layup, bounces left side. Jenkins for the mid-range. Got it. got it on the baseline at that, 64-61. WVU Tech wasting no time. They didn't even want to digest that last play, but they're only up by 3. Bluefield has not led or tied in the second half. Round the horn, Johnson blocked by David Tripp. Loose ball corralled by Michael Scott, and he stepped out of bounds in the effort. So the Rams will get it back, and the Bluefield bench getting excited as they only trail by 3 points. That halts the clock at 6:39. And Jeremiah Jenkins now with 18 points. Can't ask for a better performance. Well, now he is shooting 63% from the field, 7 of 11. But Sean Robinson will take the ball up for Bluefield. Maybe one of their best shooting lineups on the floor right now. Robinson underhands Jenkins, takes a pro-link jumper, misses back iron. Yesbeck pops it back out to Robinson. Through the double team, he's fouled. Have to see if they call that a shooting foul. Robinson was definitely going up for the shot, and they will. Anthony Eads, the referee in this one, the son of Mike Eads, now calling that foul. So now 2 shots for Sean Robinson to try to cut this to a 1-point game at 64-61 as of now. Here's Robinson, bends the knees, and the first free throw falls, 64-62. Buzzer sounds. King will replace Scruggs. And now we look like to abandon that normal platoon-style lineup for WVU Tech. So Sean Robinson toes that free throw line again at 64-62. Second shot right through the net. 64-63, a 1-point game, and now Bluefield is eyeing a huge defensive stop here with 6:17 left to go. King crosses the ball across midcourt, and now Cole Schoolcraft waiting for someone to pass it to. He just halts right near that circle, passes left wing, and now Shingles has nowhere to go. Janssen on the right wing. Ball over his set, starts to cut down the left side, pops it back out top of the key. Scott for 3, back iron miss. Gage Yesbeck got the loose ball, and now the Rams have a chance to take the lead. 5:50 left to go in the game. Up top, Sean Robinson. Angles on the left side. Underhands Jorge Concepcion. Cross-court lob Jenkins into the right wing. Cuts down the baseline. Steps back and passes as Bluefield works around the arc. Robinson down the paint. Scoops with the left hand. Misses. Rebound trip. Put back falls. And with a fist pump from Richard Morgan, Bluefield has the lead. 65-64. 5.5 minutes left to go in the game. Shingles underhands King. Pump fake returns to Shingles in the left wing. Cross-court pass to Schoolcraft. Now a dish on the right corner. Janssen for 3. Front rim miss. Looking for the rebound. Scott pounced the ball right back in the hard court, and a foul was called before that loose ball could be picked up by Cole Schoolcraft on Bluefield. That's on David Tripp. That's his second and a team 7th. Meanwhile, that's immediate timeout. 65-64 with 5:17 left to go in the game. Rams lead for the first time since the first half. As the buzzer sounds, we're just about ready to start what could be the finale of this game. 5:17 left to go in the second half. Bluefield leads by 1, 65-64. They trailed by as much as 11 here in the second half, but behind Jeremiah Jenkins as well as Jorge Concepcion. And most recently, that putback from David Tripp, the Rams have been able to fight back to get that 1-point lead. But it will be a 1-and-1 for Michael Scott on the other end, right off of the foul from David Tripp, his second. So Scott going to the line. He is a perfect 3 of 3, standing in at 6'8" from Syracuse, New York. West Virginia Tech with no momentum right now here in this big Atlantic Classic. Out of a crowd of about 2,500, these Rams trying to make a stance. Here's Scott, front end of a 1-and-1 switch. ties the game up at 65-65. Well, West Virginia Tech and Bluefield have not played since 2014, where the Rams swept the Golden Bears in 2 straight games. Second shot for Scott. Back iron, rebound David Tripp, and WVU Tech can't take the lead there with 5:13 remaining in the game. Sean Robinson shuffling the ball right across midcourt, pressured by Brandon Shingles. Off the screen, veers right, takes a long 3. Misses off the front end of the rim and tipped back out to Jorge Concepcion. Richard Morgan calling from the sideline, telling his team to really halt and start up a new offense. Robinson underhands to Jorge Concepcion, pops it back out to Jeremiah Jenkins, who has 18 points for the Rams. Here's Robinson, feeds Jenkins, lets a 3 go. Back iron miss. Rebound Yesbeck, loops an ugly layup onto the basket, and Richard Morgan is like, what are you doing? Yesbeck thought he was fouled, but now still tied up, 4:35 left to go in the game. Back up top, here's Cole Schoolcraft, the point guard, operating with Brandon Shingles. Thomas Collins with a head fake going down the lane, floats and scores. 67-65, the lead back to 2 for WVU Tech. 4:20 before we hit triple zeros here. And now the Rams in foul trouble at that. They have sent WVU Tech in the bonus, while the Golden Bears only have 5, so Bluefield still playing around the perimeter. Here's Jenkins, passes left side, Jorge Concepcion overheads it over to Jenkins in the right wing near the free throw line. Underhand strip, arcs a 3, air ball right side, out of bounds, and it will go back to WVU Tech. So Richard Morgan snatches Nelms off of the bench, and now he replaces David Tripp after that ugly 3. Just a bit cold now with 65-65 being, or 67-65 being the score. 3:58 left to go in the game. Bounce into Cole Schoolcraft. They have led by as much as 11 in this game. But Bluefield fighting back as Sean Robinson meets that midcourt press, clapping his hands from Cole Schoolcraft. Top of the key. Thomas Collins angling down the left baseline, floats a pass, and it's stolen by Jorge Concepcion. Rams moving in transition. Jenkins in the right corner, steps into a long 2. Nothing but net for the freshman, and we are tied up once again at 67-67. Looked like Jenkins possibly thought that was a 3, but instead now he has 20 points instead of 21. 3.5 minutes left to go, 3:24 to be exact, as Scott bumps into the lane and draws a charge. Stands able to go right back on his back, and Bluefield taking advantage of that big man who swung with that elbow and knocked down the Rams senior from Atlanta. Clock says 3:22. We're going to have to see who has the tenacity here. We saw in the games last year for Bluefield, when it came down to really the latter moments of the game, they wouldn't fight, but that has been the difference in this year's team. Concepcion underhands Robinson, launches a 3, back iron from the right wing as Michael Scott is able to pull down the rebound. 3:05 left to go in the game. Brandon Shingles, young man out of Tallahassee, Florida, storms down the lane, passes left side. Collins misses the dunk at first, but it rimmed out and went in. So he didn't punch it through, the ball just rolled around and still counts as a basket either way, 69-67. 2:48 left to go in the game. Sean Robinson dishes on the left side, Stan Nelms, who's going to take this next shot for Bluefield. Jenkins, step back, long 2. Yes, again, 22 points for Jeremiah Jenkins. 69-69. Can't get over how Jeremiah Jenkins has been so good in the second half. 2.5 minutes left to go. Lob down low to Scott, pops from 5, and that mid-range finally falls as the ball just rattled around and finally went in. 71-69. Both teams just really trading haymakers. Sean Robinson with the time running out, 2:12 to be exact. Starts the shuffle left wing, bounces down low to Yesbeck, returns Robinson left corner, back out in the lane. Top of the key, Concepcion hits the 3 from pro length, and Bluefield has the lead, 72-71. 1:55 left to go in the game as the Rams take another lead. Cole Schoolcraft and his WVU Golden Bears slowing down the game, almost operating in a Dean Smith 4 corners now, moving the ball around the arc. Now with 13 seconds. Left wing, pressured by Jenkins, dishes down low, over to Scott, feeds Collins, right corner, 3-2 short, put back balls for Scruggs. So the lead back to 1, 73-72, and a timeout called by the Golden Bears. Take a look at how the scoring has been for both teams in this game. Jeremiah Jenkins has absolutely lit it up in the second half for the Rams. Clock is now stopped at 1:35. Bluefield will get the ball back after the basket was scored by Scruggs, but still 22 points for Jeremiah Jenkins. Right behind him after that three, Jorge Concepcion has 19. But really, not many other players going to get done for the Rams. David Tripp has 9, and then Stan Nelms has 6 points, all in the first half. It's been a classic, to say the least, at the Big Atlantic Classic, 73-72. Rams down by 1 to WVU Tech, who will go for bragging rights in the Southern West Virginia, Southwest Virginia native or area. Got the high school teams ready to warm up. Looks like there's a Wyoming East game right after this. And the fans starting to pack in for what could be one of the better showdowns in the history of this collegiate version. 1:30 remaining in the game as Sean Robinson takes the ball right across midcourt. He's pressured by Cole Schoolcraft. Into the corner, Jorge Concepcion shuffles back out. Now he dishes right side. Jenkins lob down low to Yes, back off his left hand. It bounces out of bounds. It was a great look from Jeremiah Jenkins to feed to the big man, but the pass was just a little too errant. So now after the turnover, WVU Tech will try to jog this one out. Looking for a dagger here. 1:12 left to go in the game. 73-72 in the left wing. Shingles feeds Collins in the corner. Shingles left wing, top of the key now to Schoolcraft. Starts to shuffle on the left side. 1 minute remaining in the game. 73-72. Goes down the right end. Underhand Scruggs out of bounds, and now Bluefield will have it back. Jorge Concepcion looked like he might have hit that ball. West Virginia Tech up in arms. And this is a big call right here. So it was a pass from Schoolcraft over to Scruggs. Underhands in the corner. Ball went out of bounds. And Scruggs very opposed to this call as he thought that Concepcion punched it out. So now Bluefield gets it back. 73-72, they trail by 1. 50 seconds remaining. Robinson, top of the key, and now a timeout called by Richard Morgan. Let's have to see what Bluefield does here because time is running out. 47.1 seconds remaining in the game. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Jeremiah Jenkins has been the go-to guy for the Rams. He's 9 of 15 from the field with 22 points. Also have to look at Jorge Concepcion, who has 7 field goals in this game, 7 of 16 with 19 points. Might want to dish it down low, though, as now West Virginia Tech has 6 fouls, as Bluefield could force a 1-and-1 here on the next foul. The Rams have to play smart, though, and look to make the better passes. They've cut down the turnovers in the second half. And really, that's a big part of the reason why they have been able to fight back in this game. 73-72, West Virginia Tech on top. Glad to have you with us here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. 19 turnovers for West Virginia Tech. Bluefield only has 7. Probably why this has been a better second half for the Rams. They trailed by 10 at halftime. Buzzer sounds, and now the men in red will come back out onto the hard court. Leafs fans are going to be treated with a very good game here that have came for this Wyoming East game coming up. It'll be one of the better showcases of West Virginia basketball here in the Beckley area. Bluefield traveling about an hour away, trying to get another win here, and really in danger of losing 2 games in a row. Out onto the floor, Stan Nelms, David Tripp, Jeremiah Jenkins, as well as Sean Robinson and Jorge Concepcion III. 47.1 seconds remaining, and Nelms dishes the ball into the backcourt for Sean Robinson. 20 on the shot clock, so really not a factor as of yet. Robinson lifts left side, Concepcion dishes top of the key, Jeremiah Jenkins. One arm, Sean Robinson, right wing. Now 12 to shoot. Bounce pass in the right corner, David Tripp. Pressured as he swings it out top of the key. Robinson feeds Nelms. Long 2. Nelms drills it from mid-range, and Bluefield has the 1-point lead. 74-73. Shot clock is off. 23 seconds left to go. Shingles dribbles over towards his bench and calls a timeout. So now you got to think what Bluefield can do here. West Virginia Tech could possibly hold this to the last shot, likely to do that. They have a lot of shooters on the floor, but Bluefield is on top 74-73. They might need one of their better defensive stops of the year. Last night they lost by 16, trying not to drop another one here. In front of a packed crowd here in Beckley. Bluefield trying to make a stance against another NAIA team. and put another win in that column. Now at 12-7. Still have to see what the Rams can do defensively. Have to lock down the perimeter. Andres Janssen really hasn't been a factor in the second half. Brandon Shingles is a guy you have to lock down as well. But really down low, Michael Scott matched up with David Tripp, or possibly Donnell Gooch thrown out onto the floor right now could be a problem for Bluefield. 22.7 seconds, though. The Rams could try to poke this ball away and get a steal to seal this one up. What an incredible second half it's been for Bluefield. Down 41-31 at halftime. And now have fought their way back. Officials starting to blow the whistles as we are trying to get back into basketball. 22.7 seconds remaining in the game. And Richard Morgan just preaching to his team to play smart the entire game. Had a long ride home from Allen University last night. It would be a tremendous win for the Rams if they are able to pick this one up. 74-73. West Virginia Tech sends Collins, as well as Michael Scott, Shingles, Scruggs, and Cole Schoolcraft onto the floor. Rams have Stan Nelms in with Taekwon Reed, Concepcion, David Tripp, and Jeremiah Jenkins. Pass in bounds over for Shingles. Veers right with 17 seconds left. Shingles storms in the lane, floats and blocked by Stan Nelms. Out of bounds, and it will stay with West Virginia Tech. But Stan Nelms thought he won the NBA Finals after that block as the ball went on the right side of the basket. Clock is now stopped at 13.3 seconds. Inbounds pass for Shingles, looking to lift it into Collins on the right block. Spins in the lane, hooks with the right arm, and scores with 9.5 seconds left. 75-74. Rams dish it into David Tripp. Jeremiah Jenkins gets it across half court. Lifts out right David Tripp. Feed up top to Stanley Nelms. Taekwon Reed. Feed in the corner. Concepcion floats at the buzzer and misses. Heartbreaker for Bluefield. And West Virginia Tech wins 75-74. And Jorge Concepcion thinking he got fouled right there at the end. No call. And the Rams have now lost 2 in a row. What a game. And a heartbreaker for Bluefield. But West Virginia Tech able to win 2 in a row and now improved to 15-9, while the Rams have now lost a pair of games consecutively. 12-8 on the year. Luckily not a conference game for either team, but still, the Rams will try to regroup tomorrow night. Take a look at those final stats for the Rams. What a game it was for Jeremiah Jenkins in the second half. 22 points for him, 19 for Jorge Concepcion. Thought he had that layup to fall. And then 9 points for David Tripp, and Stan Nelms had 8 for Bluefield. For WVU Tech, now with a big win for themselves, a couple of players in double figures. Michael Scott with 13, leading all scorers. Brandon Shingles with 11, and then Thomas Collins had 12, with Johnson 10 points after having only 2 in the second half. What a game it was for Bluefield. What a heart-filled second half for Bluefield, but able to come up short here. 75-74. It's been a fun one. We're going to be right back to the Dome. Those games will be on video for you tomorrow, and now the Rams will try to regroup against St. Andrews at a game that starts at approximately 7:30 p.m. My name is Bailey Engel, reminding you the final score. West Virginia Tech wins 75-74, and the Rams fall here in Beckley.